Hurry, hurry, hurry. Step right up and get your Moxie back. That's right, get your Moxie back with Moxie Vape Cartridges. Get your
This
Moxie Vape Cartridges
is a
now
bomb,
for the only price of
and I've got
straight
one of these to
Get your
pick
Moxie
with
Vape
you, Moxie.
Vape Cartridges
That's
now
right,
for the
with
mere
you.
price of half an ounce of straight marijuana at your local
Clean that
dispensary.
up before the wife gets in here. Jeez. Ow. Yeah, one of these to pick with you. Moxie. I got one of these to pick with you. Now, see this cartridge or this container? Well, I have myself, rather than move the camera all around, I have a pretty good digital scale here. This is a pretty substantial package. It weighs. Gosh, it's hard to compare this to something, but it feels substantial. Now I know Moxie is going to say that it's that way to protect the precious cargo that lies within. That's a good argument, and I believe that there's actually some validity to that argument, but not enough to make this heavy. Okay, I don't know how this is being transported, but I think it's probably being transported in boxes, one on top of the other. I don't see how they could really get crushed. Secondly, it's a little complicated and hard to get apart, and I guess that's for child protection. Okay, I'll give you that. A lot of money, I guess, went into making this because it is hard to open. Unless you do it often, it's not something that's easy to open. You could sit here unless you hit it the right way, and I can't do it even unless you're doing it that way. I don't know if I can. Yeah, it's not easy to open. That being said, this is the cartridge from my Bitten by the Golden Cobra video that you can check out in my playlist. And although I was quite enamored by the quality of this cartridge, I was not at all happy with the volume of the product within it. So I got myself this Cresca cartridge, and I'll be giving you a review on that soon. This is Gorilla Glue number 4. Oh, very, very nice. And it actually beats out the Cobra. The Gorilla stomps the Cobra, and here's the reason why. They're both pretty much the same in quality. It's just that this was filled to the top with a very, very small amount of headspace in there in order for the vacuum and for the product to soak into the part of the cartridge that burns it or vaporizes it. This lasted a long time, and I've been using it for over a week. This lasted for 2.5, 3 days. And let's talk about that, because I think that part of their argument could be easily that, okay, maybe, just maybe, you can say that it was because of viscosity and the two different processes. I call BS on that one. And here's why. Here's exactly why. Skim milk, 2% milk, 1% milk, whole milk. Yes, there's a difference in viscosity, but they all come in gallon jugs and in quart jugs and pint jugs and what have you, half gallons. And if you take a look at that, there's no visible, discernible difference in volume of product within that container. So a gallon's a gallon, and there's not, when you look at it, it's not like, oh wow, a gallon only looks 3/4 full. This cartridge, and I'm going to show you a picture now, because I took a picture and I complained to my dispensary when I opened it, because you can't open it until you get it home, or at least till you get it in your car. But you can't open it inside the dispensary, and that's one of the reasons I take pictures and show them to you. So if you have bought a Moxie product and thought that you were shorted in regard to the volume of what was inside, please comment below, because I'd like to actually get enough people together, enough recognition, enough awareness that people will either stop buying Moxie until Moxie decides, okay, we got to stop doing these practices. This practice of not filling this cartridge or these cartridges to the extent that they're supposed to be filled. Now, I could get into weighing the cartridge, doing a tear, and then when it's new, but I just don't have the funds to be able to do that at this point. And so if there's anyone out there who's buying Moxie cartridges live resin, apples to apples, apples to apples. This is live resin, apples to apples, liquid live resin, Cresco liquid live resin. This GG number 4, I don't know if my camera's going to focus in on it or not, but this GG number 4 is just as good as this Golden Cobra and better. And the reason why, as I stated, was they were both, I'd say, a tie. Maybe the Golden Cobra tasted just a little bit better. The terpene profile was just a hair better. And when I say a hair, I'm talking about like a 7.5 to an 8 in differential. But this one was filled damn near to the top. And as a medical marijuana patient who's not covered under insurance, which that's going to be another video that I'd like to talk about, because if my insurance will pay for opioids that people overdose on and die from, then why won't my insurance pay for this if a doctor says that should be enough? It's a doctor's word is enough to allow the Pennsylvania Marijuana Board to approve the usage of said medication. Medication is medication. So who is the insurance company to legislate morality? But yet, under either Obamacare or whatever care or insurance, I'll end up paying for that. But I'll have to pay. Like, you know how you had to pay in? Even if you didn't pay, you had to pay it with your taxes at the end of the year. Why isn't this being covered? It's substantial. And because it's substantial and because it's not covered, that's why I'm pissed. Because companies like Moxie are taking advantage of the situation. They know that we've had to jump through hoops in order to be able to obtain the medicine we need for a better life. And do they say, okay, we understand that, we're compassionate, just like drug companies? I might as well say Moxie's just like a drug company, because you know how those drug companies are. I'm not going to get into specifics, but this to me just spells greed. And I don't like it. Sorry. So, now that I've got that off my chest, if you've had the same situation, please comment below. I'd like to know. I have never had a Cresco product come to me that was low. I'm going to show you a picture of that, but this has been great. I've been using this for over a week. This lasted for 2 or 3 days. If you look closely at this, inside here is a stem. That stem's diameter becomes larger as it goes towards the bottom here where the oil or the concentrate is sucked into the burner or ceramic element. Here's the thing. As it's up here, you have volume that's less restricted. As it gets to the bottom here, it's more restricted in terms of it's pushed out because there's a wider volume of stem at the bottom, meaning that there's less oil when you get down here in this area. So when I received it, it was like halfway filled at the top here. There was like a half a way for it to go to the top here. Now already this Cresco was $50. This half filled, like damn near half of this, and they were both new and sealed. This was a sealed product when I got it. The sealed tape, the tamper tape was on it to show that it hadn't been. So this, I don't blame my dispensary at all. What I blame is Moxie. And I don't want to hear about quality control, because if you go to their website, you'll see that they tout themselves as being a state-of-the-art company in terms of what they're doing. So quality control shouldn't be an issue. And whether it's human dispensed or whether it's dispensed by robot, however it's being done, what I ran into was unacceptable. Unacceptable, period. Customer's always right. But here's the kicker. This was $50. This was $60. $10 more. So you'd think that they'd have the courtesy to at least top it off. Because again, if we're talking about the difference in viscosity, they're both live resins. Both of them being live resins, meaning that the same process was used in order to extract them and to process them. Now, even if different processes were used post the BHO process of the butane, getting all of the terpenes and the cannabinoids and the THC and all the other products out of the marijuana plant or the weed plant, the cannabis plant, whether they distilled this or however they got it to the correct viscosity, when I looked at both of these and I tilt them, both of them, neither the liquids on the inside you could see it really move. It was a snail's pace on both of them, meaning that the consistencies were pretty much equal. Not enough that you could say, well, one was so much more concentrated than the other that its weight was the same, but its volume was less. So no, I'm not buying it. Sorry, Moxie, I'm calling you out. So get your act together, because I think I'm going to give you one more shot. And I know you might be saying, well, who cares if I give you another shot? Well, I know that the medical marijuana patients of Pennsylvania care. I guarantee you that, because I've already had that discussion. And they have seconded and chimed in and concurred with me on many of the points that I'm making here in terms of expenditures and costs. I've had this in the waiting rooms of many dispensaries, this conversation. And we're willing to pay, but as I was saying, you get 500 milligrams. 500 milligrams. I'll do a quick conversion for you. That's half a gram. Half a gram. Now, a gram is $20. Now, yes, okay. it's concentrated, meaning that a gram of bud, a gram of this golden goat here from Alara, it's about $20, $15, $20, but its THC amount is like 23, 22%. These are 80% THC. So I understand why it costs more, but not that much more for half, because I just did the math. And if that's a gram and this is half a gram at 3 times the amount, now you're going to say, well, it's 3 times the potency. Okay, but then just give me, if you're going to make me pay $60 for this, give me a gram. Give me a whole gram. But if you're not going to give me a whole gram, at least put the right amount and top this off, because this is topped off. Cresco, I've got, and some people could say, oh, well, maybe you just got a bad batch, man. No, because I've been trying enough Cresco products and the amount that came in this turned me off right away. And when I show you the picture of whether or not there was a leak, and then I was going to start looking in the packaging to see if that had it was soaked, but it wasn't. No leak, no, the vacuum was fine. I did one pull to see whether or not it would pull, and it pulled fine, but I'm looking at the inside, I'm like, that's not right. I'm sorry, that's just not right. So, I know you heard me bitching long enough, but stuff is expensive. And for people like myself who need it for their symptoms, we can't afford to, and especially since the insurance companies, again, won't pay for it. But you'll pay for some opioids. If this is prescribed by a doctor, that should be all that's necessary. I don't need you to use morality now or say that now or second guess doctors. You second guessing doctors, insurance companies? How come you're not second guessing doctors when it comes to pharmaceuticals? When you're prescribing certain pharmaceuticals that kill people's livers, or did you take this? You may have a right to substantial compensation. Come on, man, this is all a joke. It's all a joke in terms of what we're having to deal with. But don't take advantage of that, companies that are in the mix, because we're going to remember, and we're going to buy and stick and be loyal with companies like Cresco, and I have no loyalty to them, no connection to them, no connection to Moxie, no connection to Cresco, no connection to Alara or any other distributor or producer. I have yet to try the Somebody Farms or the Alara cartridges yet. That's next on the Standard Farms, I believe it is. Or the Alara cartridges, yes. That's next. I'm going to be trying those. But they're expensive. So that's why I've been giving you more bud reviews, because that's more affordable at this point. So hopefully you guys will keep subscribing and, letting me know what your opinions are based on what happens with you on a daily basis with your medication, and what your experiences with Moxie have been, because I'm not the only one. I've heard this from other people, and I actually heard it from one of the people, the bud tenders at my dispensary said, I'm not the only one who said that about Moxie products. So may the buyer beware. Moxie, get it together, and when it may be me, it may be somebody else, and if I get another Moxie product, I'll be the first one to put out another video to say, see, here it is again. As soon as I opened it, boom. Okay, and because of the fact that this happened to me on a $60, $70 cartridge, that's expensive. it should be enough in there to last a long time. And it should be the right amount. I shouldn't be able to look at it and there should be a question in my mind. Did somebody use this already? Somebody tapping into my tapping my bag? So again, Moxie, that name sounds like you got enough Moxie to do some stuff like the unmitigated gall, the temerity, to have the Moxie to take my money and not give me what I paid for. So I got the Moxie to come back at you and say, yo man, get it right. We're patients. We're not people on the corner trying to get a fix, as it were. We're patients. And we need this medication. We're gonna see. I'm gonna hold your feet to the fire now. Because you took my money. And you I don't think that I got my value for money. But we'll see the next time I grab one. Or I'd like to hear your comments and you tell me, have you had the same experience with Moxie products? Because their quality is good. I'm not questioning that. That's not the issue at hand. The issue at hand is quantity, not quality. Chime in. Let me know what's going on with you and your Moxie. Have the Moxie to stand up and voice your opinion too. And until we see each other again, and I'm going to let you know about this Gorilla Glue in a little bit, because as I stated, not only is it twice as nice, but this new little mini, this little iMini versus my straight pen that I showed you when I was doing the Moxie product. I like this because it's really nice and concealable. Works just as well. Put it in your pocket. It's not going to break in half like the other one could when you are sitting down and your torso is bent with your legs. So I really like this. I'm going to do a little comparison on this later on and show you guys this one. But yeah, this is that Cresco Gorilla Glue number 4. Smells as good as Chanel number 5. It tastes better too. By the way, just put that Moxie on top of that digital scale, and it weighs 28 grams. 28 grams, and that's without the cartridge inside. The cartridge itself, if it's not rolling off, weighs 7 grams, empty. Let's take the cartridge, put it inside, close it. This is how I got it, minus the concentrate inside. And it weighs a staggering, get ready, 36 grams. 36 grams. So that means that that package is 36 grams, and it would be 36 and a half to 36 and a half grams if it had the 500 millimeters, or milligrams rather, not millimeters, that would be a measurement. The 500 milligrams that it supposedly came with. I think it's over packaging. You're spending more money on that. Give me more product. Give me the right amount of product. And I still ardently protest and state that this product, although the quality's good, the quantity is not. And until the quantity matches the quality, we as informed patients know which products to get and which products not to get, because this Cresco product right here did just as good in terms of its medicating factors or its effects for me. It was $10 less, and what looked as might as well have been a quarter more product in this as opposed to this. So there you have it. Also, got everything set up. Sorry, I had that crazy background on the back, but I was so upset and wanted to say something. I didn't even get my studio together in order to broadcast that, because I thought people needed to know ASAP. So forget about the thrills, forget about the comedy, forget about anything else. People should be getting their money's worth. This isn't a point in time in this revolution of marijuana or cannabis legalization for medical use for anyone to be taking advantage of the situation at this point. And I'm not saying that it was malice that they did it, but intentionally. But all I can say is that, hey, look, you're the one creating the product. You're the one with the quality control. You're the one with the ability. You're the only one with the ability to assure that quantities and standards are adhered to. And so, I'm just the guy, the end user. And so I'm depending on you to do the job right. And especially if you're going to charge me $10 and $20 more for the same amount that's $50, which is already too much. That 500 milligrams should be no more than $25. And I don't care if it's more concentrated. It shouldn't be any more than $25. And the next thing is, oh, this one's really going to bake your noodle. You ready? How is it that the prices of a regulated product mirror the black market price structure? That's right. Yeah, that's answer me that one. If you can tell me that below, you'll enlighten me. Because why is it that, they're not having to deal with, all the things that the black market is going to tell you the reason why their prices are what it is for street products, the street pharmacist. So, because of that, I want to know where the price structure is derived from. Where is it derived from? Because you're asking for the same prices, if not a little bit more, for than what the street is asking. So if it's controlled and we don't have to worry about drug sniffing dogs and DEA and helicopters and border patrols, security, and all that other stuff, because it's being purchased or it's being produced here in the United States under, federal guidelines, or actually state guidelines rather, then why does it cost so much? Greed, man. I know it's easy to come up with the answer. I'm just telling it like it is. It's greed. Same way that pharmaceutical companies lobbied millions of dollars more this year so they could raise their prices on opioids. Well, I understand capitalism, but Anyway, rambled long enough. Hope you're happy with your medication. And may the weed be with you. Peace. And speaking of capitalism, today's show is brought to you by Bong Water. That's right, Bong Water. Bong Water is delicious and nutritious. And it works great on stains as well. Put it on your food. Put it on yourself. Rub it in areas that hurt. Rub it in areas that don't hurt. Bong Water is triple infused and works terrific as a way of getting rid of unwanted household pests as well, including, but not limited to, cats, dogs, possums, raccoons, rats, rodents, bugs, and all other kinds of vermin that you don't want around your home. Yet, at the same time, Bong Water is nutritious and delicious, and it provides more of the nutrients that you don't get out of any other water that you won't find anywhere else. Bong Water is absolutely refreshing. Have some for yourself today. I sure love it. Oh, damn. It sure is delicious. Get you some today. So remember to get yourself some Bong Water today. That's Bong Water by Nasty Co. Bong Water can lead to indigestion, stomach cramping, nausea, diarrhea, in rare cases death. Bong Water is not approved by the FDA. Buy you some Bong Water today.